Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. So, you know, I used to install antennas a lot, maybe 10, 15 years ago, during the transition from analog to digital, particularly. But I guess I installed my first antenna when I was 12. So I've been doing it a long time. So if you check my oldest video, you'll see I had a multi-antenna media center um, video that I recorded in 2010, which is at my home, which I still live in today. So recently I had to abandon one of the antennas because it's pointing at transmitters that just don't seem to be working anymore, and they're very poor signal, always pixelating, all big trouble. And it used to be my prime, most reliable feed, and I don't know what's happened, but I started looking into it, and then I stumbled across this thing called an LTE filter, and I heard about them before, but I kind of never thought much of them because I kind of thought, well, to do it right, you're gonna have to climb the tower or climb on the roof or wherever you installed it and put it right close to the antenna ahead of the preamp if you have one. And I never thought much, but I had to redo my media center and have everything on one antenna pointing at one city, and it's working better. But I just don't get as many channels. And yeah, most of the channels are duplicates. Every city has an ABC and an NBC, so you end up with multiple choices. But you really get the local flavor when you get the local television station, and it's nice to have them all. But anyway, the reason I'm making this video because well, I've always hated Channel Master. They screwed me many times. Channel Master is a name that gets bought and sold. People milk it, screw people, and then they sell the rights to it, and somebody else has it. So a bit of a sidebar. 12 years ago when I put up my multi antenna media center, I had one antenna on a 50-foot tower with a rotator on it, and it was a Channel Master one with the remote control and the digital box, and really cool and spiffy. The only problem is that when the temperature dropped below 32 Fahrenheit, it would stop working. And of course I installed it June, so I never discovered this till November. And you know what? Nobody would help me. No, Channel Master was not interested. The distributor I bought it from was not interested in replacing it, nor paying for the cost of climbing up there and taking down the head and then changing the rotator and putting the head back up. No, so I was screwed. I ended up doing it myself a couple years later. Put an RCA cabled rotator with the control box, and so much for the digital one. Anyway, I've gotten off track. So, getting back to the LTE filter. So, I ordered one because I thought, I read up on it a bit, and it says, oh, it blocks signals from the cell networks. Well, the cell networks run on previous television band channels, so there's nothing new about the signal. It's the same signal. It's just different content is on it now. So I was kind of puzzled. Why? Cell phones have been around for 20 years. The upper band 69 to 83 has been on cell phones for a long time. So we've been up to 69 for many years. Nobody had any problem with cell phone interference and shit like that. So how come now we have this? Since the last repack, I've heard about LTE filters. Well, they're not filters. That's what I discovered. They're what I've always called bandpass filters. I have one here. This is one from a company in Toronto, Canada, Tinley Electronics. This one is particularly for channel 12 because I live very close to channel 12, and I need a booster for everything, but channel 12, well, it overloads the booster if I don't fill it. So I had this custom built to mitigate the entire channel from the feed so that I could boost everything else. So see, it's a channel rejection filter. So that's what this is apparently. Now, this cost, and I don't even know if the guy's in business anymore. I got to look him up and see. But this cost $100. A dozen years ago. This is a precision device that I had custom made, because you order them and then you tell them what channel you want it to block and how much of that, a certain percentage, half of it, all of it, whatever you want. And I guess I'll put that back together. It's a funny thing. You ever open a package, you can never get them back together. You need to go to a school on packaging to figure out how to get them back in the way they were, because the box suddenly shrinks or something. Anyway, so I ordered this thing. First, I went to the website, and I'm going to read you from the website right now. The Channel Master LTE filter improves over-the-air antenna signals by filtering out mobile LTE signal interference. No, it gets to go down. The Channel Master LTE filter is designed to clear your OTA signal path from the common interference caused by mobile LTE signals. The proliferation of those signals and connected devices are a common cause of intermittent television signal interruptions, because mobile carriers operate on frequencies that can be very close to your broadcast TV frequencies. Well, yeah, they're the same ones. They use their own. Now, a comment I got to make. In the days of analog, adjacent signals were always a problem, because analog, they just had the power turned up so high it bled over into the, if you're on channel 4, 3 and 5 are affected if you're close to 4. And guess who's here, everybody? It's Sparky. Hi, everybody. He's coming to see how big he is, and he's feisty now. He's looking for trouble. He wants to walk on my keyboard and type stuff, and I'm not going to let him. Okay, so where was I? Just a minute, let me collect my thoughts. Oh yes, co-channel interference. So it was a common problem. Well, when we went to digital, the power got turned way down, and it seemed that you could have every channel in one city all adjacent to each other without any interference problems. Because in the analog days, they always made space between them. You never had 4 and 5 in the same market for that reason when it was analog. So Channel Master is claiming that adjacent LTE signals are interfering with it. So that means right now we have channel 2 through 36, and 37 is not used, and then LTE starts at 38. Well, that's not adjacent. That's 2 channels away. So anyway, where did I read? These disruptions can result in weak signals, pixelation, and even channel loss, and can be especially disruptive when using an amplifier with your TV antenna. That's because it boosts the signals. Keeping in mind, LTE signals are at a very low power because they're all local broadcasts. They're not meant to cover 100 miles in every direction like television broadcasts are. So they're very low. So what if you amplify them? It's still not going to be anything like the analog days. Having said that, so I don't think anybody's booster or preamp is being overloaded by them. So Channel Master highly recommends using an LTE filter with TV antenna installation in metro and suburban areas in order to assure optimum performance. If you require an amplifier, we recommend a Channel Master amplifier, the high-end one that includes an internal LTE filter. Well, if you're already using an amplifier, the LTE filter would work with the existing installation. Well, if you're building amplifiers, why not just make them for channel 2 through 36 and not need an LTE filter, because your unit isn't compatible with that frequency. So I don't believe they have them built in. That's a crock. They just, in the old days, amplifiers were 2 through 83, and the repack happened many times. nobody climbed up their towers and changed those. They're all still up there. Mine are still up there, 2 through 83. And it wasn't until we got down to the 600 megahertz band that we started hearing whining about LTE interference. I don't know if I've got it, but I put this signal on. I put this on the back of my TV just to. I did a test first. I looked at the signal power before and after, and this has an insertion loss, which is not mentioned there, and the insertion loss is greater if the signal is already poor. So let's read on. What's included? LTE filter, 1-year warranty. Features: blocks interference from 3G, 4G, and 5G smartphones and transmitters. Well, no, it doesn't. It does not. Minimal setup required. Professional grade construction and quality. Yeah, this thing's pretty heavy. It's like a lead ball kind of weight. So electrical specifications: frequencies pass 5 through 609 millihertz. That's up to channel 37. So and it says pass. That's what this is. A band pass filter. That's what this is. This is not an LTE filter. It's a band pass filter. LTE is just a common term of what's carried on the television signal or the signal in that bandwidth. You hear a lot of people talking about having to change antennas for digital, having to change stuff. No. The signal has not changed from analog to digital to LTE. The signal has not changed. The specifications of broadcasting on channel 38 and above has not changed. So it's not an LTE signal. It's the same signal it's always been. Just the content of it is different. Now, and frequency is blocked 610 to 2000 millihertz. So it blocks everything above 37. This is a special one, blocks 12 only. So 11 and down comes through, 13 or 12, 13 and up comes through. I had one built once for UHF only that would block all VHF, just because I don't remember why, but I had one done anyway. So this is all you get, and they tell you can install it 3 different places on the back of your TV set. So it has an open hole, female, and a male. The male is the input, female is the output. So you have to screw this onto the back of your TV, and then put the cable on there. Now, this thing has some weight to it, and see, this is a USB stick, and this is an extension cable, because I don't like putting USB sticks directly into the machine, because if you bump them, because they stick out, if you bump them, put weight on them, you could snap them off or damage what they plug into. So you put them on an extension, and it dangles on a cable. Well, I put this thing on the back of my TV, and I put the cable on it, and the cable, it's 3 feet off, and the cable, put the cable back on it, and I went, oh, there's a disaster waiting to happen when somebody accidentally puts too much weight on the end of this, because you know what a fulcrum is. That the longer the stick, the more leverage you can apply to the end of it by pushing on this end. The power is increased at that end, very high. So I can see the coax cable connector on the back of TV sets being snapped off. So I recommend you get an adapter and put a cable on it and let it hang by the cable, because that's going to break TV sets. So the other option is to put it on the input of your splitter. So wind it on the splitter, put the cable on. That seems acceptable to me. I can't see anything wrong with that. The third option is to climb up and screw this into your amplifier and put the cable back onto it. Remove the cable, screw this in the input, put the cable back on it. I think if the cellular companies want the television frequencies for their work, and we have to do this, they should pay for that, because if it's really impacted, where's the FCC and all the governing bodies about unnecessary interference? If LTE signals are really a problem, how come they're not covering the bill for this? How come? And this is $20. This is $20, so pretty cheap. I wonder how good a job it does. I don't have the equipment to measure it to see, but it'd be nice to put some frequencies through it that it's supposed to block and see if it actually blocks them. I think this is a Pinephone gimmick. It doesn't do what they say it does, because I don't trust Channel Master. Remember, my antenna rotator only works in warmer weather. First thing I would never do is put this upstairs where it's hard to get to, because if it fails prematurely, you got to go back up and replace it and put another one on. I don't know, or pull it out and not deal with it. So I would recommend you keep everything downstairs in the house and see if it gets any results, because if I was having a problem with channel 9 and channel 10, 28, way down the scale, way away from where LTE signals are, which is at 38 and up. So this is going to do nothing for me. And remember what I read to you off the website. Now let me read you the instructions, okay? Yeah, outdoor antenna with an antenna amplifier. Connect your LTE 5G filter to the in port of your amplifier. Then connect your outdoor antenna to the in port on your LTE filter. Well, there's a problem with that. It doesn't say in on it, and it doesn't say it here either. It says from antenna, not in. So get your instructions correct. It doesn't say in. Change it to change this to say in, or change your instructions to say from antenna. So that's wrong. Okay. Outdoor antenna with signal splitter. Connect your filter to the in port of your signal splitter. They do say in, so that's good. Then connect your outdoor port to the in port on your filter. It doesn't say in on this, it says from antenna. And then indoor antenna, connect your filter to your television. Then connect your cable to the alleged in port of the filter. Now, one thing I noticed when you're putting this on the TV, don't cock it at an angle, because you're going to strip it. It's very fussy on getting it going. That's what I found. It's very hard to catch the threads. Be very careful if you're going to do that. But I don't think you should buy one, because unless you have a channel 37 in your area, which nobody does, you're not going to have any problems, because channel 36 is 2 frequencies away. It's 12 millihertz away from 38. And like they said, adjacent channels. I got to find it again, just a minute, because I want to quote it again. Okay, got it. Mobile carriers operate on frequencies that can be very close to your broadcast TV frequencies. These disruptions can result in weak signals. So somehow broadcast or having a wireless phone service on channel 38 is somehow going to impact 2 through 36 signal-wise. How is that going to work? And how come? Remember, the signals have not changed from analog to digital to wireless phone. The technology, there's no new signal has been discovered. There's no new antenna that's been discovered. The same thing that worked for analog works for LTE. It's the same thing. Anyway, I want to read the FAQs from this. What is LTE 5G? It's a standard for wireless communication for high-speed data for mobile phones and data terminals. I think that's correct. How does LTE affect my antenna signal? The use of LTE devices such as mobile telephones or LTE base stations can cause interference in the digital antenna signals of the LTE user himself or to that of his neighbors, where the frequencies coincide. Well, coincide in what way? 38, 36. That they're not next door to each other. And of course, because everything's packed so tight in the TV network, every market I think has somebody on 36. But 28 is a long way from 36. 10 and 9 and 12 are a really long ways from 38. Very long ways. So how is it going to impact it? And reduce my signal apparently. How is that? And with every device I've ever gotten for antennas, there's always a disclaimer, whether it be a splitter, a switch, a filter, there's always an insertion loss cost. Except for this thing, it says nothing. But I found it was nothing on the strong channels, but on a couple of weaker ones, and that's not scientific. I mean, I didn't have a scope on it and accurately measuring it. It was visual, anecdotal. So for all intents and purposes, let's say there was no difference. There was no signal loss. But they don't say that. And the other thing they don't say, so you can use this in... Oops, sorry, I accidentally paused it. You can use this indoors and outdoors, but is this weather tight? It hasn't said anything that it's weather tight. Should I put some silicone on? Or should I put rubber boots on the ends? How's that going to work? It doesn't say. Can my phone cause interference with my antenna signals? If your mobile phone uses LTE 5G signals, it can... So LTE 5G signals, where are they? Are they all in the 38 to 69 range? Or, what's up at 83? I'm not even sure where they are these days. I'm going to assume they're in the 600 megahertz band. I don't know that for a fact, or 500 rather, the latest one. So they're close to the TV signals. So it says it can cause interference with the antenna signal since mobile phones are everywhere, and it is highly recommended to use it. So suddenly someone broadcasting on a semi-adjacent signal is a problem because they need to sell these. But for many years, or I guess since 2009 when the digital transition, all the channels have been adjacent, and I haven't heard a peep about co-channel interference. Not one peep. What else is this thing saying? Where do I install the filter? Well, I'm not going to go over that because we already covered it. Will I receive more channels using the filter? No, but I thought it said it says here. The Channel Master LTE filter improves over-the-air signals. It improves them. So do I get more signal? Do I get more channel? Well, it says no here to one part. The other part doesn't say anything to, but it says that it's a con game, right? So if I'm a guy with weak reception, I'm going to read that this Channel Master filter improves over-the-air signals. Oh, this is going to fix it. $20 down the drain, right? Because it ain't going to fix nothing. Will I notice a difference in my signal? It is possible that you may notice a difference. May. However, see, and this is the very last one. The very last, it's like the Pinephone. They put it right at the bottom of the page where past the ordering button. And I don't get to see this till I bought it. It doesn't say that there. It says it on the paper that came with the product when it's too late to cancel. Anyway. You may not notice it, however, the signal interference can happen on any given time of day. I gotta change my glasses because this is young people print, and I need my young people glasses. Oh yeah, there we go. So apparently it can happen any given time of day. This means recordings or live TV signals can be affected at any time. What? I thought it was only adjacent ones that were affected. Let's double check that. Mobile operators operate on frequencies that can be very close to your broadcast TV frequencies. They also operate on frequencies that are very far. It doesn't say only the close ones. It doesn't say only the so there's a big contradiction between this page and the sales pitch page. What does that remind me of? I'm not sure. The contradiction before and after the sale. One thing says one thing and the other says something else. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I am not climbing the tower and putting this filter in place. I'm going to, I have a, you know me. I never deploy anything without proper testing. I got a test antenna. I'm going to put this on. That's at a lower height, but it's easy to get to re the filter if it goes badly, and we'll see. I'll be able to compare it head to head with one that doesn't have one. Anyway, I recommend not spending the $20 because I think it's gonna fail and no one will care, and you'll be without TV because I'll bet you when this thing fails, there's no signals passing through it. So remember, adjacent channels may be affected. 36 is the one we're talking about. If you don't have a 36 in your market, don't worry about LTE because it's not an LTE filter. It's a band pass filter. It just covers everything all the way up. Just like I had one made for UHF or VHF, I don't remember which one, where I wanted to make sure my UHF antenna had only UHF signals on it going into the preamp, and I put a band pass filter on that blocked everything in that range. So anyway, guys, Sparky says don't buy Channel Master. They're sounding a lot like Pinephone. Thanks everybody. See you soon.